TBS Boat Sales, the UK Sealine dealer up in Southampton, called me up and said, we've got a Sealine C430 up here. Do you want to come and do a video? And I was very keen to do this one because Sealines always make a very interesting and adaptable boat. And this is a perfect example. Now straight away, as soon as we come up to it, the C on this one stands for coupe, and that means that you've got this low profile roofline. There's a big opening roof, which we'll see a bit better when we go on board. But there is also an F version for flybridge, so if you like the boat but you would rather have an upper helm position on the top and more seating upstairs, then you can have it. But from there down, the boats are identical, so looking at this one will give you a good idea of both. We're going to step on as ever via this bathing platform. Now this is a fixed platform on this one, and what TBS say they normally do is put a crane on the back which also acts as a passerelle, so you can use it to lift a dinghy on and off, or you can have it so it extends out and gives you stern to boarding in the Mediterranean. However, there is an option of a high-low platform, so if you particularly wanted that, that can be done. Now this boat, as we see it here, on what is a very beautiful day, is in what I would call med mode. So it's set up for hot sunny climes, and what that means is we've got this huge shade over the cockpit, and then we've got everything open inside. But if it's not a really hot day and you don't want the shade, this will all motor away electrically, so you can have that completely open. And this area here as well, of course, these doors will slide across. This is a lift up section, so you can bring that down, and so very quickly you can enclose this area. And in fact there are canopies as well that go all the way around the outside of this, so you can go from really open to really closed very easily. Just while we're here as well, a couple of other things. These are lights obviously built into here, which are a nice feature. And this little chap here, that's basically a reversing camera. That's a camera that shows you the whole of the back of the boat, and you can see that from the multifunction display at the helm, which makes life much easier when you're reversing. There's a nice seating area here, of course, under the shade of this if you've got it in its current position, and this folds as well, so if you don't want such a big table, you can fold that away, and then you've got cup holders there and a nice rail to hang on to, so that's pretty useful. On this side, that's just a bit of storage. So I think we'll do the cabin first, and then we'll do the engines, and then we'll do the deck. So this is a galley aft layout, as you can see. This one's been specified with gas cooking. You can have electric with a ceramic hob if you prefer, and then a generator if you want to be able to run that out at sea. But on this one, of course, it just runs from a gas bottle, so you've got 2-burner hob, and then this is an oven and grill in here. Lots of storage, as you'd expect, and some quite neat lighting as well. If we look down underneath here, you can see it all the way along here, which is rather nice. And these are drawers, of course, on this side. And opposite that then is your fridge and your freezer. So that's the freezer compartment. Fridge is on that side. These are the main battery switches for the service, engine, bow thruster, and then above here you've got switches for a couple of different things. The sunroof, that is the one at the back as we came on. The electric engine room hatch, we'll show you that in a minute. But an interesting one is this one here, TV lift. So you've got your social area up at the front, so you can sit all the way around here. But if I push this button, if you look at that area up there, there's your TV. Now I mentioned we were in med mode at the moment, so that means that we've got this huge opening sliding roof again. It's an electric roof, and what is nice is there's glass panels in it, but they line up the glass panels on this section here, so you get lots of light through here even when it's open. And if you don't want that, there are blinds, you can see them just there, which slide across to cover that up. On the other side, you've got the lower helm position. Now you might think, well, that of course is very useful, particularly as it's the only place to drive the boat on this one, but it does take up quite a lot of space. However, this is where Sealine get clever, because they do things like this. If I lift that there, take a stroll backwards, that has transformed that into part of the social area. And you might think, well, it's a bit high though, isn't it? And you would be right if it weren't for the fact that there's a little button on the side, and that would now motor down and turn that whole area into part of the saloon. That's fantastic, isn't it? This wood, incidentally, there's various options on this wood. This is like a mid-tone. There's a lighter wood and there's a darker wood. And all three of those can be in the matte finish we've got here, or you can have high gloss if you prefer it. There's a door next to the helm. Again, loads of ventilation with that roof open and that door open, and the back door's open. That lets plenty of air through here. And the helm itself is here. This is a tilt wheel, so you can drop that down if you prefer to have it like that. Throttles are here, and this one has IPS, so pod drive, which means that you have a joystick. You can maneuver the whole boat just by pushing this the way you want the boat to go, forwards to the side, and the whole boat moves sideways. Twist it and the whole boat twists, so it makes the boat very easy to use. This is the multifunction display, so this would be for things like your charts, but also that reversing camera that we saw, and you can have a fish finder on there, you can have radar if you want it, that would display on there, and there is space, so if you prefer to have two displays, you can have them if you want them. This underneath here is the autopilot, and that's a separate speed and depth display, so you've always got that one to hand and easy to see. What else have we got here? Wipers are on here, anchor winch is on here, horn is on here, and that one there is trim tabs, I think. Yes, it is hydro tab, so that's automatic trim tab control. Basically, when a boat is running, if it has some heel on because of the wind, that will level it up. But that's a nice area, and that adaptability I think is particularly clever. Makes it into a very nice social area. Let's go and have a look at the lower deck. Now there are a few choices down here when you order the boat. Up here at the front, this one has the double bed. This is the master cabin on this boat, and I say on this boat for a reason I'll explain in a moment. You can have scissor beds here, so it's two singles that come together to make a double, or slide out to the edges and make two singles. Great if you've got kids on board. There is a hatch in the ceiling and more windows. There's a blind, of course, that pulls across there. We can't see out through them at the moment because there's some bed cushions on the front, and we'll take a look at that when we have a walk around the deck, and big windows as well. So a great view out today of Mercury Marina in the sunshine, and a lovely classic alongside. Look at that, that's a labour of love, isn't it? What else have we got here? There's little places for things like your mobile phone or your watch, storage in places like this, and then that is a wardrobe and a bit more storage. And as you can see, they've tried to cram it into pretty much everywhere. What else do we have here? There's big drawers under the bed as well, so not short of spaces to put things. And then again, same on this side, with things like your wardrobe and your storage. Now this one has an ensuite. If we close this door over, we'll find it in behind. There we go, really good size. And a proper separate shower area in here. So that of course tilts round and down, and then this partitions off so you can shower in there and keep the rest of it dry. And again, very well lit. You've got a big window here. Of course there is a blind for privacy if you want it, and also a translucent window up in the top, so you get loads of light pouring into there as we've got at the moment. Terrific. Let's close that. Now I mentioned options, and they are back here. So just to show you as we go past, there's a day heads. That's in here, and again actually a really good size, and again a proper separate shower stall. You've got your windows, and you've got plenty of storage for your bits and pieces. I quite like these funky little lights they put in here as well. And again, a translucent hatch up above. However, back here on this particular boat, this is a 3-cabin layout. So you've got 2 cabins. One is in here, and that is a double bed. Again, your big windows. That circular fellow there, that's an opening section, so you can get a bit of ventilation into here. And again, you've got your wardrobe and your storage and so forth. And then on the other side, this one is 2 singles. It's a bigger cabin altogether, actually. And so your headroom drops as you go down into this section, but actually back here It's really good, so you've got room to stand and get changed and so forth. 2 decent sized beds. You can have a double in here, I believe. But the intriguing option that I mentioned is that you can have this boat without that bulkhead and then a big central double bed and make this a full beam master cabin. That then gives you a 2 cabin layout, and the forward cabin is a guest cabin, and that of course then is when those scissor berths come in handy, because it means, as I say, if you've got kids you can keep them apart, which is never a bad plan. So look out the window. Hello Mercury Marina. Imagine waking up to that as a view. That'd be lovely, wouldn't it? What else can we find in here? Wardrobe. And then behind here, this is a doorway into the day heads. So if only 2 cabins are in use, this can be its own private ensuite. So each cabin has its own. But of course the other benefit to that is that if this is the master cabin, that can be a private ensuite to the master. What else have we got? Let's go and take a look at the engines. So I mentioned this is IPS. The engines are right under the floor back here. I'll move my shoes before I lose them. And we will hit the button marked engine room hatch. There we go. So, shoes back on. And we'll head down the ladder. So these are a pair of IPS 500 engines. As I mentioned earlier, they're pod drive, and the pods are down under there, underneath the boat. These engines are 370 horsepower each. They're going to give the boat, I'm guessing a little bit, but I would think 30 knots, maybe a touch more. They do offer a version with IPS 600. It's dearer, of course, but that takes your power up to, I think, 430 horsepower and lifts the speed a bit. That would be an option worth considering if you had a high-low platform and a big heavy rib, because that was a lot of weight at the back of the boat. If you don't have those things, these are probably more than adequate. That Airtronic over there, that's the central heating system for this boat. There's a hot water tank in here as well. And again, all of this is very get-outable, as we like to say on Aquaholic. This space up here, it's more engineering. That red fellow there is a fire extinguisher. But also, if you have the 240 volt generator, that's where it would live. But it's a pretty decent engine room for the size of boat. Very good. The silver stuff in here, this is all sound deadening, and that's that power lift for the hatch. Good. I'm going to take you around the deck because there's one more thing that I really want to show you. So let's hit that button and power that fellow back down. And before we go, I know exactly what you were thinking. What's that under the floor? I don't know. Let's have a look. Ah, storage. That's pretty useful. So you've got space for larger items. That looks like a boarding ladder, in fact. It's not yet been fitted. Excellent. That is the inside and the engines. Let's go and have a look at the front. We do have a boat being launched at the minute, so you'll have to excuse the noise in the background. However, I'm using my new microphone, so hopefully it will overcome. Big wide side decks. And these are nice and high-sided just here as well. This is taking us up past that opening door at the helm. What's quite nice is you can reach into here and the joystick is where you can get to it. So you can stand here when you're manoeuvring and actually control the boat and watch it in against the pontoon. It's a pretty nifty feature. But this is what I wanted to show you. Sunbed on the front, that's nothing unusual. These are lift up sections. So if you want to, you can sit facing forward. Ah, that's good timing. The crane stopped. And this is a forward-facing seat that you can drop flat, so it makes that into a much longer sunbed. So use it as you will. But I do like these cushions that they've put around here, because this is a rather nifty little entertaining area right up on the bow. If you're stern two berthed in the Med, that's a very nice thing to have. Or even if you're just anchoring and you want your own little private space, there's a lot of people on the boat. Just want to come up here for a chat. This is ideal. Very nice indeed. Excellent. And these fellas here, by the way, these are pop-up lights, so you can drop those down and turn them, and when you lift them up, they come on. You can't see it at the minute very easily because it's broad daylight, of course. Let's finish up on this seat, shall we? So there you go, Sealine 430. Been keen to get a Sealine for a little while, so I'm pleased to have done that one. Many thanks to TBS Boat Sales for organising it, and we'll hopefully be bringing a few more of these to you very soon. As ever, thank you ever so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, do please hit the subscribe button and little bell, because it'll let you know each time a new video is uploaded. We've got lots of great stuff planned. We will catch you on the next one. Take care, bye bye.